The Duluth News Tribune asked me recently to write an essay explaining why I should be voted into Congress, and this is what I told them. Every day that I am in Congress, I will think of Andy and Robin. As school kids, these big-hearted boys went with me on church mission trips to help prepare the homes of people in need. As young men, they put their lives on the line by serving in Iraq, a war which seems to have been fought more to keep Republicans in political power than for the nation's security. Their welcome home gift is the privilege of paying off an $8.5 trillion federal debt. I am profoundly disappointed with politics today. I was a moderate Republican for 34 years who never regarded liberal Democrats as anything worse than people who were too generous with other people's money. Today, as I survey my old party, I shudder at the ruthless way it has libeled Democrats, maintained power, and cynically used religion for political purposes. The Republicans' old mantra of no new taxes has mutated into our children can pay our taxes. America has a rare opportunity in 2006 to change the national spirit. As in 1976 and 1994, there will be a tectonic shift as large numbers of new representatives and senators sweep into Congress. I would like to be a part of this change, and voters in the 8th Congressional District can help make it happen. But this will require sacrifice, a pork sacrifice. For 32 years, Jim Oberstar has climbed the seniority ladder, waiting for the day that he could take over a congressional committee and ladle out federal spending to his district. The seniority system he will use to accomplish this is decrepit and unfair. For 100 years, seniority stood in the way of passing any civil rights legislation. It is the rule of fossils and should be replaced with a procedure that apportions federal funds fairly based on national priorities. I also disapprove of the way Mr. Oberstar got his federal earmarks this year. He did so by aiding and abetting some of the most partisan Republicans, including the now disgraced Tom DeLay, as they rallied their conservative base by passing Terry's Law. This gross interference with the courts won Jim millions for earmarks from grateful Republicans. I have a public record, too. My 8 years on the tumultuous Duluth School Board have borne fruit so that our school board rarely suffers ugly headlines these days. My old policy of never spending money that we didn't have is now enshrined in our policy book. Granted, the board hasn't yet made my advice to close a high school, but that will come. It was not a popular proposal to make. I mention this because I can be counted on to do what's needed rather than what will keep me in office. As one of as many as 50 new representatives expected to be elected this year, I will help instill a new spirit in Washington. I will resist the powerful desire for payback against Republicans like Rod Graham's, who tried to remove a Democratic president from office. As Republican Teddy Roosevelt was our first environmentalist, I will follow his lead. As Republican Dwight David Eisenhower wound down a stalemated war, I will follow his lead. As Republican Ronald Reagan was firm but sunny in his disposition, I will follow his lead. But most of all, as Republican Abe Lincoln enjoined a war-torn nation to act with malice toward none and charity for all, I will follow his lead. Sadly, I will do these things as an independent, caucusing with the Democrats.